Hello, this is Trish Kelly. Welcome to the Title I Data mini webinar. Our agenda for this session begins with the Title I K through 12 and pre-K determinations. Next, we'll review the Title I K through 12 and Title I preschool lists. We'll also discuss how to use the Student Classifications Research Query to check your data. I'll have a brief comment on Title I K through 12 targeted assistance and instructional support service data. We'll conclude with suggestions to improve data quality and contact information. We'll begin with Title I K through 12 determination. It is important to keep in mind that this K through 12 determination differs from that from pre-K. So right now we're just talking about grades K through 12. And there are three types of programs. In Title I school-wide schools, students enrolled in grades K through 12 are automatically Title I and coded with a Title I-T student classification. Again, it's a school-wide program that applies to all students enrolled in grades K through 12. By contrast, in Title I targeted assistance programs, the services are targeted. Only the students who receive Title I funded instructional or support services are Title I and coded with Title I-T. In non-Title I schools, no students enrolled in grade K through 12 are Title I, and none are coded as Title I-T. We'll review three scenarios to illustrate these situations. We'll start with School A. It is a Title I school-wide school. 400 students are enrolled in grades K through 12. How many students are coded with the Title I-T student classification? The answer, all 400. The school has a Title I school-wide program. As a result, all of the students enrolled K through 12 are supported by Title I funds, and all are coded as Title I-T. If you are flagging an exception for special education walk-ins, you are correct. That is, private school, homeschool, and preschool students receiving only special education services in Title I school-wide schools are not Title I and are not coded with the Title I-T student classification because these students are receiving only special educational services and not regular instructional services in the school. For additional information about special education walk-ins, please contact zachary.stone@tn.gov. K through 12 scenario 2. School B is a Title I targeted assistance school. 300 students are enrolled in grades K through 12. 100 students receive Title I funded instructional or support services. How many students are Title I and coded with the Title I-T student classification? The answer, the 100 students who receive Title I funded instructional or support services. Again, the services are targeted. These 100 students are Title I and coded as Title I-T. The other 200 students in the school do not receive Title I funded services, therefore they are not Title I. K through 12 scenario 3. School C, it is not a Title I school. 500 students are enrolled in grades K through 12. How many students are Title I and coded with the Title I-T student classification? The answer, of course, none. None of the students are supported by Title I funds, therefore none of them are coded as Title I-T. Turning now to pre-K. I can't emphasize enough that most pre-K students are not Title I, even in Title I school-wide schools. I can't, again, emphasize that enough. Most pre-K students are not Title I. We do have three situations to review. We start with Title I funded preschool classes. And I do want to emphasize the key for the Title I pre-K status is whether Title I funds support the student and the class. In Title I funded school-wide preschool classes, all of the students enrolled in the class are Title I because Title I funds support the class and all the students in it. By contrast, in Title I funded targeted assistance preschool classes, the funds again are targeted. Only the pre-K students who receive Title I funded support or instructional services are Title I and coded as Title I-T. Classes that are not funded by Title I there are no Title I students, and none are coded as Title I-T. This would be the case for state, local grants, and IDA-funded preschool classes. We'll look at 4 scenarios to illustrate the pre-K Title I determination. We'll start with School D. It is a Title I school-wide school. It has 45 students enrolled in 3 preschool classes. Title I funds do not support any of the preschool classes. How many preschool students are Title I and how many are coded as Title I-T? The answer is none. Title I funds do not support any of the preschool classes, and therefore none of the students in them. There are no Title I preschool students in the school. Pre-K scenario 2. School E, also a Title School I school. It has 1 preschool class supported by Title I school-wide funds. 20 preschool students are enrolled in the class. How many preschool students are Title I and coded as Title I-T? The answer, all 20 students enrolled in the class are Title I and coded as Title I-T because the class is funded by Title I school-wide funds that support all of the students in that preschool class. Pre-K scenario 3, School F, also a Title School I school. It has 1 preschool class supported by Title I targeted assistance funds. 15 of the 25 students enrolled in the class are supported by Title I funds. How many preschool students are Title I and coded as Title I-T? The answer, the 15 students supported by Title I funds. These students are Title I and coded as Title I-T. The other 10 students in the class are not supported by Title I funds and therefore are not Title I and not coded as Title I-T. Our 4th and final pre-K scenario. School G is a non-Title I school. It has preschool classes supported by grant funds. 30 students are enrolled in these classes. How many students are Title I and coded with the Title I-T student classification? The answer, of course, is none. Title I funds do not support any of the preschool classes and therefore none of the students in them. Again, pre-K students enrolled in classes that are funded by state, local, grant, and IDA funds are not Title I because Title I funds do not support the class and the students in them. I hope those scenarios were helpful to you. If you're looking for additional assistance in identifying whether you have Title I K through 12 and Title I funded preschool classes in your districts, consult the Title I K through 12 and Title I preschool lists. They are located in ePlan and TDOE resources, federal programs data, Title I schools in Tennessee, and search by year. You may also check your district's consolidated funding application. The CFA includes information in which LEAs identify Title I K through 12 schools and Title I funded preschool classes. Next, we'll explore the Student Classifications Research Query. Again, you'll use this to check your Title I-T data in EIS. You'll log in as a district or school user, select Data Reports and Research Queries. From the Research Query list, select the Student Classifications Research Query. For year, select 2024 for the 24-25 school year. From the Student Classifications drop-down box, select Title I-T. To run the query, select View Report. Typically, you'll want to download to CSV or Excel format. To do so, use the file icon to the right of Find Next. The research query results follow a standard format. There will be a row for each student flagged as Title I-T. The school and student identifiers will be on the left, and the Title I-T student classification is on the right. For those of you that have Title I K through 12 targeted assistance and instructional support, Title I targeted assistance schools, You may recall that we've been collecting instructional and support service data in EIS. That, however, is no longer required for federal reporting. As a result, as of 24-25, FPL will not track Title I targeted assistance, instructional, and support service data, and the data will be excluded from FPO's data reviews. However, the department will continue to collect Title I targeted assistance, instructional support service data in EIS as long as it remains a system of record. The collection will cease when the transition to Ed5 has been completed. So in the meantime, if your district has K through 12 targeted assistance schools, you may continue to transmit the data to EIS or refrain from doing so. Choose whichever approach best meets your district's needs. A few suggestions to improve data quality. The first one is collaborate. Collaborate with your colleagues in attendance, federal programs, technology, and early learning. That's essential to ensuring that your data are complete and accurate. Also, regularly check your data in your student information system and EIS and upload revisions as needed. It is important to take that extra step of going to EIS. It could be that what you're seeing in your student information system has not uploaded to EIS the way you expect due to some sort of error. So it's important to check your data regularly in the student classifications research query and upload revisions as needed. For additional information about the collection, please refer to the FPO Data Manual. Finally, contact information. If you have questions about Title I data encoding, please contact me, Trish Kelly, at trish.kelly@tn.gov. For questions about EIS errors and restaging problems, please contact the District Technology Support Team at dt.support@tn.gov. Thank you for joining me in this session. I hope it was helpful to you.